Welcome back to Periscope for Entrepreneurs. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some tips for you to follow before you actually hit the broadcast button. Now, actually activating your Periscope broadcast is going to be very easy. All you really need to do is enable your camera and you will instantly be broadcasting live on Periscope. Now, there are some tips that you are going to want to follow so that your live stream will have the maximum benefit for your business. You want to leave a positive brand impression with your prospect, with the person who is watching you, so that they will come and opt into your pages, so that they will buy your products and services, so that they will come to your events. You want to make sure that the connection you make with them is a good one and a positive one. Now, you want to make sure your profile is memorable. So you don't just want to, let's say, use your name and your title. Those things are going to come over pretty much with your Twitter profile. You want to make sure that your title engages. Who is your target audience? This is copywriting. So you want to speak to the people that you want to attract to your Periscope broadcast. Consider this to be something that you're going to be doing on an ongoing basis. Who do you want to come back to your Periscope broadcast? And you want to start writing your profile in order to speak to those people. Now, you don't have a lot of space, so make sure that that profile, whatever you write in there, is memorable. And just remember that the link will not be clickable. So this is not going to be something that they're going to see and click on in order to come to your website. That's important. Before the actual broadcast is to already have your call to action ready. So that means that whatever link you're going to be using, make sure it's something that's going to be short and easy to follow and memorize. The wrong time to try to redo a link or to try to redo something is when you're on the live broadcast. That'll almost defeat the purpose of leaving that positive brand impression. So test your links. Make sure that they're ready. Make sure that they're short. Make sure that there's something that you can say quickly, and that if your viewer or your prospect says it over to themselves, that they'll be able to go and find it very easily. Now make sure your settings are enabled to store the video after it's completed. And we're going to make a suggestion to you as to how to do this, but there are settings inside of Periscope that we've talked about. You want to make sure that those settings are ready to go and that your video will be there once it's time for you to get the broadcast and turn it into other content. Now, internet marketer Barbara Ling suggests that you want to set up an account for the automatic storage of your broadcast at catch.com. And so you can set up an account over there in order to capture all of your broadcasts. She also suggests setting up notifications to auto post to other social media such as Zapier, IFT, prior to and during the event. So in other words, you want to make sure that you're getting the maximum following. And so you want to make sure that when you set up a broadcast, it goes out to all of the various social media accounts that you're associated with, where there are going to be people who might want to follow you, who for the most part, maybe they don't use Twitter, maybe they're not going to be looking at a Periscope broadcast, but if you put it in your social media stream of some of those other venues, they will actually come to your screen. So think about getting that link auto-posted to Facebook. Think about getting it auto-posted to LinkedIn. Get it or Tumblr if that's what you use. Think about using Reddit. Okay, another very popular site, and think about, of course, using Twitter. You want to make sure that every place where there are people who are going to be reading and looking at what it is that you're doing, that they have the opportunity to come and experience your broadcast. Any other social media networks that you're going to be a part of, make sure that you're posting to those networks. You want to make sure that, that people who are connected to you, who are following your work for any way, that they're coming to your live broadcast, because those are going to be the people who are going to share out that broadcast to other people who are not part of your network. Now, the other thing that you want to do before your actual broadcast, and this kind of goes without saying, but it's important to mention, again, it's nearly impossible to try to recover this during the broadcast. So make sure your call to action pages are working. Your sales page, your opt-in page, whatever your giveaway is. You don't want people to get to these things after you've given a great presentation, after feeling very positive. You don't want them to cool off because these things are not working, and them having to email your support or email you to tell you that they'd like to get what you promised them. But again, you may not have had those things ready. So test those things prior to you actually getting on the broadcast. Okay, now your physical background before you broadcast, before you turn on the camera. Take a look around behind you. Make sure that there isn't any junk. Make sure that it's not messy. Make sure that there's nothing that's going to be distracting in the background. There are backgrounds called shoji screens, SHOJI, where you can get them and you can put them behind you so that it shows a background that doesn't show a lot of glare. It'll give the viewer something that they can kind of look at and kind of focus on that will not detract from your actual broadcast. So again, don't have a lot of busyness and a lot of messiness in your background when you're broadcasting. Check your lighting. Okay, is your lighting adequate? Now, this might be something that you need to do a test stream to make sure of. Do you need some lighting? Do those things beforehand, because again, a live broadcast is a wrong time in order to try to figure it out. Now, of course, live streaming is a little more forgiving, and if you can connect with people and you're good in front of people, maybe you're good on the stage, and maybe you're good, a good speaker, a good extemporaneous speaker, all of those things will help you. However, bad lighting will detract from your presentation. Do that ahead of time. And don't write a script is the recommendation from most experts who are doing Periscope. And the reason is because the point of doing Periscope in the first place is really to connect with people and to share your expertise. And it's really hard to do that when you're reading from a script. And when you're reading from a script and the camera's on you, it will be evident. It will be obvious that you were reading from a script, and you don't want that for your live broadcast. So try to speak from an outline if you need to. If you need to use another monitor to do it, use another monitor. The point again is to connect with people and to give yourself a likability. And it's hard to do that if you're focusing on how you're delivering the content. Okay, so those are tips that you can actually follow before you actually get started in your broadcast. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.